Průvodce expert.
Whether it is walking on the water, dark sands of beaches, or being bitten by frost, every destination is a new adventure. Today we decided to leave our footprints on the sands of time. Literally, for we were headed to Jordan. For decades, mounting political tensions in the region have tended to rob Jordan of its vast lineage and history. There is more to this landlocked country than its geographical location with Iraq, Israel, Syria, West Bank and Saudi Arabia as its neighbors. Biblical cities and Roman amphitheaters, high-rise buildings and alfresco cafes form the mosaic that is Jordan.
Amman is the capital of Jordan. It is a city of great contrast, a unique blend of old and new. It is ideally located on a hilly region which lies between the desert and the Jordan Valley. And if you really wanted to know all about the contrast, then take a look into the city. Walk about and you will realize that there are ultra-modern buildings, there are hotels, restaurants, art galleries, and all of them rub shoulders comfortably with traditional coffee shops as well as artisans' showrooms.
Amman sits on a wealth of 7 hills. A monotonous sea of white cement structures with the occasional minarets and tall buildings rising like hiccups. With its colonnaded streets and amphitheaters, Rome has left its imprint on the face of modern-day Amman. Named Philadelphia after the Ptolemaic ruler Philadelphus, the city became part of the Decapolis League that was a union of 10 cities ruled by the Romans. Many of the Roman structures were built in the 2nd century AD. Perched on the highest hill in Amman, the Jebel al-Qala, the citadel is the point where Rabat Ammon was situated. Amman was the capital of this kingdom. The temple of Hercules that stands on the citadel hill was built between 161 and 166 AD.
The ruins that you can see behind me used to be the temple of Hercules, and the reason why this structure was attributed to the Greek demigod is because huge arms made of marble were found close to this site. Now you can also see that it was built on a high stone platform, and the reason why that was is to ensure that it was visible from the lower city. These are the fingers of the mighty Hercules. Not exactly, but they are definitely part of the huge marble arm that was found next to those ruins, which is why today we know that that was the temple of Hercules.
It looks like a giant hand smashed into the temple, leaving behind only broken columns and stones in their wake. It appears as if for centuries these pieces have lain undisturbed. The information plaques give an insight into how the Romans managed to haul huge stones into the 33 feet long columns. Close to the Temple of Hercules is the bluish-grey dome of the audience hall. It is a part of the Al-Qasr or the palace dating back to the Umayyad period, the first Islamic dynasty. The Umayyad palace that was destroyed in the earthquake of 749 AD was a complex of royal and residential buildings. These crumbling ruins and dilapidated structures are all that remain of a prosperous empire.
As we enter the palace complex from the southern side, the first building that we come across is the domed audience hall. This was originally built to impress visitors.
The audience hall is one of the most important buildings of the palace complex and has a central courtyard-like area, about 10 square meters.
The audience hall is the most intact building in the entire complex. It is shaped like a cross because it was built over a Byzantine church. There was a lot of debate about whether originally the central space was left covered or open. But then finally it was decided favoring the former, and therefore the dome was finally reconstructed.
If you look beyond the stones and the wear and tear of time, then it is easy to imagine bejeweled roofs and paintings embellishing the walls. Some of the carvings are still visible.
Most of the historically important sites in Amman are situated in the downtown area, which happens to sit at the bottom of 4 major hills or jabals. But in contrast, the citadel sits high above the city on top of Jabal al-Kala, which makes it an important vantage point, which means that from here you get a fantastic view of the entire city. Historically speaking as well, this place has great importance because it is the ancient site of Ammon Rabat, and the excavations here prove that the remains date all the way back to the Roman, Byzantine as well as the Umayyad period.
Indulge in your gold craving at the Gold Soak, then get dazzled by the radiance of the King Abdullah Mosque in just a moment.
I take you on a culinary delight in the capital of Indonesia. Welcome to Jakarta. Sambal is spicy, but there is an explosion of flavors in my mouth. I'm good with eating. I should stick with eating. No cooking.
Half the city wakes up to a streaming sunshine, while the other half waits to catch up. And sure enough, the city is basted with the bright monochrome of the day heat. At 3,000 feet above sea level, the weather is polite, in fact delightful. Amman is spared the scorching sun unlike other Jordanian cities. Though it is known as one of the oldest inhabited cities of the world, Amman today is modern and evolving. With an influx of Palestinian and Iraqi refugees, immigrants from other Gulf countries, and the return of the Jordanian expats who have experienced global culture, Amman has become a mixture of the conservative and the modern. One of the most important things that you simply cannot miss out on as a tourist is buying gold. The gold souk that lies between the Al Husseini Mosque and the Citadel is one of the most famous places to buy gold.
There is an old saying that everything that glitters is not necessarily gold. And that statement in this place, not true. Because out here, all that glitters is absolutely gold in fact. It's the best quality gold that you can find. Now this place is called Gold Souk, which in Arabic literally means gold market. Now, if you really want to know where this place is located, then it's the city center, which happens to be the oldest part of Amman. And having said all of that, if you're a tourist and you haven't visited this place, then you have missed out on something really exciting.
It is always advisable to browse through the stores to know what you really want. Although white gold is very popular in Ommani high society, the traditional 21-carat yellow gold found in the gold souk is a particular favorite with the traditional lower income clientele. From revering gold to religion, you will come a full circle in Amman with the King Abdullah Mosque. Visible from most places in Amman, the mosque commands a magnificent vision. The King Abdullah Mosque is an extravagant rendition in blue stone. The dome of the mosque shines from afar and symbolizes the open sky.
King Abdullah's mosque is located in the Al Abdali district. It was completed in the year 1990 in the memory of late King Hussein's grandfather. This mosque is extremely beautiful, and thanks to the lovely blue dome that it sports, it attracts a lot of tourist attention. The only thing that tourists need to remember while going inside is that women need to cover their head and wear an abaya.
King Abdullah, who successfully led the Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire during the First World War, helped lay the foundations for Jordan. He was assassinated when he was going for his usual Friday prayers at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. His grandson Prince Hussein, the later king, was also attacked but escaped when the bullet bounced off his medal. The King Abdullah Mosque stands for more than religious pride. It is a symbol of the nation's pride, as the Amir of Transjordan, to whom this mosque is dedicated, is considered a martyr in his homeland. Enjoy an evening out in Amman at the Wakalat Street, right after we come back. In Amman, the evenings are a boisterous affair. The city lights up to a myriad options for entertainment. This is yet another different side to Amman that people are opening up to and enjoying. Street life has never been absent in Amman. Shopping, meeting with friends and family, or simply walking on the streets has always been very Jordanian. However, this culture was slowly being usurped by the car. Zones specifically meant for pedestrians had been drying up, and like in most cities, people preferred driving to walking. The opening of Wakalat Street was thus favorably welcomed by most Ammanis. The Jordanians take great pride in family, and come evening, the streets are filled with families out for a meal or just to enjoy some time out from their hectic lives.
No public space in this country is complete without the right kind of hookah joint. And this is Wakalat Street, the most happening place in entire Amman. And now, I'm already here, so I'm going to smoke hookah. Hello. I would like to smoke shisha, please.
What do you like flavors?
What flavor do you have?
We have apple and cherry and cantaloupe, mint.
I think I'll take mint lemon.
Mint lemon.
Thank you.
The hookah, though of Indian origin, is more identified with the Middle East today. Smoking hookah is not for those in a hurry, as smoking an entire bowl can take about an hour. In Jordan, it is very common to see people gathered around the hookah table discussing and debating the hot topics of the day. The streets become a party zone with open-air restaurants and people watching live sports on giant screens out on the streets. The aroma of delicious food is tantalizing as you make your way through the crowd. Jordanian cuisine is well known for its wide variety, and eating is a community event. The cuisine is a rich preparation that makes a lot of use of meat products and yogurt, cheese, herbs, and spices like mint and thyme.
Mealtime in Jordan is not just about a biological function, but it's a time for celebration. Jordanian cuisine has many influences from Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, which makes it one of the world's most sophisticated and elaborate cuisine. Add to that the famous Jordanian hospitality, and you have time for celebration. Each time a meal is served.
The hummus, the most popular export of Jordanian cuisine, is now found all over the world, but as is obvious, nothing beats the ones you'll find in Jordan. A part of the meze or appetizers, the hummus is a puree of chickpeas mixed with sesame seeds, lemon and garlic. The kubba is a deep-fried oval-shaped ball filled with minced meat and pine nuts. Second helpings, anyone? Amman is often ignored on travel plans as it does not have the glamour of other Jordanian cities. However, once you get to know Amman, the perception changes. Amman is on the pathway to becoming a global city. It has not left behind its roots though. It is firmly steeped in its old ways even as it embraces the new, nourishing and evolving even as we speak. How to reach Jordan? By air. There are two airports in Amman, the Marka International Airport and the Queen Alia Airport. By rail. The Hejaz Railway connects the Muslim holy places in Arabia. The main line links Damascus to Medina. There is a bi-weekly train that runs from Damascus to Amman. By road. You can enter Jordan by car from Israel, Syria and Saudi Arabia after going through the border crossing over formalities. By boat. Jordan can be entered at the port of Aqaba via the Egyptian port of Nuweiba. There are two services, ferry and speedboat. The slow ferry might take up to 8 hours and the speedboat makes the crossing in about an hour.